Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, heard Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on PSA.com and the PSA Facebook page. The Great American Collectibles Show is brought to you by PSA and the National Sports Collectors Convention. Tonight's headlines are brought to you by Sports Collectors Daily. For all of your hobby news, features, and more, visit sportscollectorsdaily.com. And now, your hosts, Tom Zappala and Rico Petrocelli.
Mr. P, how are you, my friend?
Very good, Tom. It's nice to see your face again. And no,
you're being sarcastic.
No, I'm not being sarcastic because you're looking good. I'm really shocked how good you look.
See the tan? Yeah. I got a nice little tan going.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
I get no tan lines either, brother. No tan lines.
So you're nude, huh?
Hey, listen, welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show. Tom Zappala with Mike. Paisan co-host, Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli, as David's grandchildren call him. But before we get going, our headlines. The 2022 Topps Museum Collection offers plenty of relics. You expect to find relics in a museum, so collectors will not be disappointed when opening packs of the 2022 Topps Museum Collection Baseball when it becomes available the week of June 15th. There's going to be plenty, Rico, of relic cards, and you're a relic, so you know what we're talking about. The hobby box will be broken down into 4 mini boxes with 5 cards per mini. Collectors can expect to pull 3 base cards, 1 base parallel, and 1 hit from each of the mini boxes. These hits in each hobby box will include 1 autographed card, 1 relic, and an autographed relic and quad relic. Bottom line here, to read the rest of the article, go to our friends at sportscollectorsdaily.com. Rich Miller does a great job. Read the entire article because this is going to be pretty cool. This is
that's great. And it's different.
It is different.
You know what I mean? It's a little different.
Yeah, no, they're doing a good job.
Take it in.
Hey, listen, we got a good show today. Again, welcome to the show. We're listening. You're listening on YouTube. We're part of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. That's where our producers are, part of the United Podcast Network. You can listen to us with, I can't say Alexa loud because she's right next to me, Pandora, iHeartRadio. We're on TuneIn Radio, WCAP 980 up in the Boston area, Spotify, all that stuff. Just you'll find us. Facebook page, PSA's Facebook page, ours, Great American Sports Collectors Daily Facebook page, everybody's. And we have our own YouTube channel. We'd love you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us. All right, we got a good show today. We're going to bring in our good friend Charlie Parrino from JRI Cards. Charlie has some events, and we're going to talk about his events. These things, Rico, are really cool. Yeah. Then our main guest this week is a guy that we've been trying to get. He's part of that Tobacco Row gang. They're a little out there, those guys, but they know their stuff. Troy Rambo. Troy has, I don't even know how many sets he has in the PSA Registry, but he's got a lot of really cool complete sets on the PSA Registry. Of course, one of my favorites, Rico, is the T206 set. We're going to talk about that at length. And then later on, we were able to secure our good friend from Heritage Auction, Derek Grady. He just dried out the last 3 days, so he's going to be sober. Rico, he promised us he would not be drunk, and we're going to go from there. So let's bring in our good friend right now.
I mean, we got what do we got? 5 minutes left of the show after this.
I know that. Let's get going.
I've never seen you ramble on that much.
I had to, man. I got to get it all in. But let's bring Charlie in. Charlie Parrino from JRI Cards. How are you, Charles?
Good.
What's going on, brother?
Time here.
Right. I love that. Look at that fedora.
Oh, by the way, Rico, I don't know if you know this, but we're going to be broadcasting a show from JRI Cards in West Palm Beach.
When?
I don't know. If I can get you and Elsie here, you and I will do it. If not, you're out. You're out.
No. Well, no, have Ellen on, for Pete's sake. She knows more than you.
All right, Charlie, tell us about these events, and I want you to focus on 1 and 2 right now. What's this all about?
Oh, Tom and Rico, for years, thanks to the incredible community at JRI Cards, we've been a leader in the graded pack ripping industry. And now, with the brand new exclusive JRI events, we're taking things to a whole new level. a really big level. For the fraction of the regular price, JRI Events takes you and rips consisting of the rarest packs in the world. I'd say the universe, but I'm heading to the moon soon to find out. But they're the really rarest packs where you can't even afford a card in these packs. They're just a whole new level. Here's how the process works. We sell X amount of tickets in the event, maybe 80 to 100. It's a digital ticket. You buy a ticket in the event, and that ticket's worth a percentage of what we rip in that main event. It could be 1 pack, 2 packs, 3 packs, couple of boxes, whatever it is on our website. After we do that, we also have a blender where we give you a card in it. We call it the preliminary, and that's the bonus item you get just for being in the event. It could be a rack pack from 84, baseball from 79. And when it sells out, we open it. And it's going to be a great night, I promise. It's usually on a separate designated night. One of our events, and is a very highly regarded PSA 8 of the 1957. I know it's tough to see with the glare or whatnot, but it is a Mickey Mantle series. We have pulled Mickey Mantle on our show from our graded, unsearched, and sealed PSA packs before, and that's the co-event. The other part of that event is the 1970 Topps Baseball. There's 30 cards in this main event, and you have a chance to pull Reggie Munson. Whoa, Reggie Jackson or Thurman Munson out of here. They're approaching about 100,000 in the PSA 10, and our goal is to get 10s out of these events. Because they are graded, unsearched, and sealed, never touched, authenticated by PSA. And that's one of our events. So you buy a ticket into that event, and the preliminary is we give you a little bonus right beforehand. We'll open up, I think for that was a 79 and 80 rack, looking for Ozzie Smith, Ricky Anderson. Again, authenticated racks or packs or boxes ahead of time. The other event, we have 3 up there right now, and we're going to put up some more. Big pack right here, very tough to find, period, like I said, in the world. It's a 1970 Topps football pack. Ray Nitschke on top, if that doesn't give you the goosebumps. But the guy in here we're looking for is Terry Bradshaw. His last PSA 10 sold for over 400,000. He's on TV. He's popular. That also helps out the card prices. The co-main event, well, we'll do a nice box right here of 1998. Peyton Manning, who's mainstream now also, is a big one. Our other event up there real quick, it's not 1, not 2, but 3 1970 football cello packs, all graded 6s and 7s from PSA. Looking for Joe Namath or OJ Simpson. OJ Simpson, for whatever it's worth, he's still mainstream, and people like
Amazing. I know he is.
It's unbelievable. Amazing. But that's how the events work. They're exciting. We do them on our special night. Everybody gets a preliminary card or item beforehand, and then we go right to the main event. And check out our website to sign up for this event. Get your tickets while you can. And when it sells out, we send you an email and we open it up, usually on a separate designated night, about 2 hours or so, because it's a nice buildup.
Charlie, what is the website address?
JRICards.com.
All right, brother. Listen, we're going to be by next week. Staten Island Joe are taking you out to lunch next week.
Oh, all right. I'll build up a big appetite.
Nothing over $4. Let's not press it.
Really shocked. Yeah.
All right, Charlie. We love you. Take care, brother.
Guys. See you soon.
Take care.
Take care, John.
Okay, hey Rico, Charlie's a good guy, isn't he, man? He really is.
Terrific.
Great guy.
Terrific.
All right, let's bring in our guest. This is our main guest today, Troy Rambo. Troy is, how do I say this? He must have a few bucks, Rico, man. He's got like an amazing collections on the PSA set registry. So we're going to talk to Troy, and let's bring him in right now. Hey, Troy, how are you, brother?
Doing well. How are you?
Hi.
Good. Glad to have you. We've been trying to get you on. We try to stay under the radar. At least I do on the different Facebook pages. But I really enjoy the knowledge that you guys all on Tobacco Road disseminate. I mean, it's really a good bunch of guys. You guys tease each other, but everybody really knows what the hell they're talking about, and that really
for us who do not know much about Tobacco Road, could you explain what it's all about?
Yeah, why don't you do that, Troy?
Absolutely, and thanks for having me, guys. To say that I'm the main guest, that's I'm sorry for everybody.
No.
But yeah, Tobacco Road's a Facebook page, a Facebook group of guys. It's more than just that. It's a group of guys that get together and talk tobacco cards and everything pre-war. It's more than just a bunch of guys that buy and sell. It's a bunch of guys that trade information and genuinely care about one another. and want their collections to be better. So, we do all sorts of stuff. We pretty much 2 or 3 times a week, we have a Zoom call. So a couple nights ago we were on. Every Monday we get together. There've been some legendary and epic 3 or 4 in the morning discussions that we've had over maybe a little bit too much whiskey, but I'm not really quite sure about that. But
Way to do it.
yeah, but yeah, it's a great group of guys, and I guess I'll give a shout to last fall we did a charity fundraiser as well. One of the guys had an idea and said, "What do you think?" And we raised, I think, 12 or 14,000 bucks for some charities. So it was fantastic. I'm in a lot of groups like everybody else is, and it's the best by miles.
Well, I got to tell you something. Rico and I are big advocates of the up here in Boston. Well, we're in Florida, but when we're back home in Boston, the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute Jimmy Fund. And when we did the fundraiser a couple of years ago for the Jimmy Fund down here, a lot of guys from Tobacco Row made contributions to children's cancer, and we thank you guys for that.
Troy, can I just
go?
Ask you? Can anybody join this, or what do you have to go through? Or can anybody else join?
I would love to say there's a secret handshake, but it's not quite like that. It's a private group.
Okay.
So it's basically a vouch system. There's between 650 and 700 members in the group.
Wow.
So it's not a big group, and I don't think generally we want to have a lot of people.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, Rico, you have to fill out a questionnaire. The first question that they ask is, did you ever go 0 for 32? And unfortunately,
no one has.
Hey, listen, before we continue on with Troy, in honor of Troy, a giveaway this week from the Staten Island Joe Ugly Museum bag that we use every week. Way back when Ellen and I wrote the first book, the T206 collection of players and their stories, we came out with some kind of promotional cards. We call them T206 stat cards, and it was kind of a fun thing. We have a bunch left. And what we did was we gave these out to collectors, T206 collectors, and it's basically the story that of the player that was in the book. And a lot of people actually bought the entire set, so they would have the T206 card in front of it, and then this card behind it, kind of like, here's the story behind Huey Jennings. So we're going to give these out today. We've got Ginger Beaumont, who I loved, Jimmy Collins, Doc Crandall, and Huey Jennings. So that's going to be our giveaway today.
It's exciting.
Exactly. Rico?
Yeah. What?
Did you have a question?
No. I gave it 2 questions I asked them.
All right, then I'm going to ask the question. Troy, a little bit about your background.
Yeah, sure. From a collecting point of view, collecting my whole life in and out of the hobby. And as I've gotten older, I've gravitated back towards tobacco. So I've been, worked through college at a card shop. I was, there for a few years, took a break when I started my professional career, jumped back in when I switched positions. And then in 16, I jumped back in and started gravitating towards tobacco. So when I started back in 16, I did, I wanted one set from each decade. And so I did 41 play ball. I was doing some 30 Goudies. I didn't find anything in the 20s I liked, and then did T205. And I just really started to enjoy the T205 set immensely, and just kept in the tobacco world. So, but it's been a lot of fun, and so it's great in that respect.
Now tell us about go ahead, Rick. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, what set was the most difficult to build?
T205 of the sets I've completed, T205 by far, yeah. And the reason for that is, there's about 5 or 6 cards. If you look, and I collect just PSA graded cards. So 99% of my registry or collection is PSA graded. But T205 has about 5 cards in it that have populations of 50 or less. So finding examples of that's really difficult. And I like, for example, the Christy Mathewson Cycleback, the one loss has 25 or 30 cards that have ever been slabbed by PSA. Since the error has been noticed, and then the Hoblitz on those stats is less than 40. So if you put those two together, I still think that's short of what the Wagner T206 Wagner is.
You do have the Hoblitz on those. correct?
I do, yeah. It's the worst. It's the lowest. I shouldn't say worst. It's the lowest graded card in my set.
Okay, you know what? Let's talk about the grades for that particular set. What's your GPA for that?
I'm number 2 in the registry, and the grades are almost 6.2.
Are you kidding me? That's amazing. I mean, that set.
Now.
I mean, no. I mean, Troy, that set is so difficult to get in even a medium grade because of the chipping. I mean, it's a very difficult set because of the chipping on the borders with the colors. That's amazing. A 6. I'm like flabbergasted. I thought it was going to be like a 3. I mean,
when I built the set, my goal was a 4, and I finished it in middle of 2018, and it was like 4.3 or something like that. And I just decided I lost both my parents around that time, and it was like that was the set we talked about, and I was like, I want to make this as nice as I can possibly make it. So, so there's some nostalgia and just some sentimental value for me as well.
Yeah,
so I just started looking for cards, and now I can't. The hard part for me is if I get 5 upgrades or 6 upgrades this year, that'll be a good year.
Really?
I have 2 questions, if you will,
Sure.
if I may. What about the T201 set? And to both of you guys, how many tobacco sets are there? In other words,
Good question.
201 to 205, 206.
Yeah, good
How far
question.
does it go?
Oh, geez.
That's a good question, man. I'm going to have to give that one some
Yeah,
thought.
that's all right. I was just curious.
I don't know if I should even try to answer that question, because if I get it wrong, I'm going to get my chops busted by the PR guy. So,
I think I'm going to take a pass on that one too.
Well, what about the 2000 T201 set?
Yeah, so it's and if you don't know, and funny enough, I just happen to have some reprints in my hand of T201. Yeah, it's a 50 card set, and they're double folders. So Mecca Cigarette Company.
Beautiful card, by the way.
A little bit sorry for the glare, but basically,
No, that's okay.
You'll see that you've got a player. If you can see it, you'd see there's a player on. If I go back, you see there's a player on the front, and you fold it down. It's the same legs with a different player.
Huh.
Yeah, cool. It's a cool set.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
So it's 100.
That's not. I was going to say, Troy, that's not a real difficult set to get in a high grade, is it?
Not really. No, I mean it's the problem is you can't find a lot of examples because it's not widely collected.
Right.
But what I tell people is, the reprint I had in my hands, a Cobb, and the Cobb's on the back, so I think it's not popular because the Cobb is on the back of the card, amongst other reasons. But I tell people, if you're looking for a tobacco era playing day card of Cobb, that's the one to buy, because you can get it for a fraction of what like a T206 would go for, or T205 or whatever.
Interesting. We're going to take, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a break now. We come back, we have a little thingy called On Deck with Rico. Then I really want to get into my favorite, the T206 collection.
Oh.
Troy Rambo. Oh, hey, listen, you like the T206.
Come on with that T06. Don't you have any other cards?
I'm going in a different direction.
I heard you are.
Yes, it's been enlightening. With that being said, hang in there. We will be right back.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards, and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Well, look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auction and Collectibles Company. If you're looking to maximize your return on your sports cards and collectibles, look no further. We at Memory Lane Auction House offer you several options to achieve top dollar for your collectibles. Whether you're looking to auction or sell privately, we're the #1 choice with over 17 years in the hobby. Nobody will work harder to achieve your goals. Just call us today at 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE. Or visit us on the web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Go with the best. Go with Memory Lane.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectibles Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Now on deck with Rico Petrocelli. Hi, my name is Chloe. Time for On Deck with Rico Petrocelli.
Okay, it is time for our segment called On Deck with Rico, brought to us every other week by our good friend Brian Dwyer and the great staff at REA Auctions. Don't forget to bid, you get your bid in by going to robertedwardauctions.com. That's Robert Edward Auctions for extraordinary results and extraordinary service. Rico, this is a good question this week.
Yeah,
this was
most of them were good.
By the way, I got blasted with emails, so I found one more, and this is the giveaway this week. This is the Rico Petrocelli signed Catching the Pop-Up to, with all intents, winning the pennant for the Red Sox with Yaz jumping up and down behind him, and that is Jim Lomborg's ass that you can see on the mound.
Not just his rear end. I mean, look, number 16, he's tall, he's 6'6".
Well, yeah, but it's basically his ass.
But anyway, yeah. I have more, brother. I'll get you.
This is a great picture, man. This is a great picture. This was a great picture. And it's signed by Rico. All right, so here's the question. Submitted by Steve Rizzo.
Yep.
It's kind of a two-part question.
Yeah.
Rico, did you ever chew tobacco? How many players did chew tobacco? And did management try to discourage it?
Good question. You see it now on TV. You see the guys who are chewing. A lot of time they'll spit, especially in the dugout. But anyway, I did chew tobacco for a short while, and realized that it was not a good idea. So I stopped it. But I would say a third of the players, that might be high too, would chew some tobacco, maybe a little less, seriously. But management didn't discourage it. Now they have a rule: you cannot chew tobacco in the minor leagues. All right. If you get caught, you get fined.
Did that exist back then too? And like when you were managing at Pawtucket?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And when I played in the minors, it didn't. We didn't. Nobody chewed on. We were all young kids. But anyway, management didn't try to discourage it. There are organizations who tried to, stop it from the major league players to do it, but that wasn't successful. Players Union was strongly against it. So it's not good, period. It's bad, especially, not only the chewing tobacco that you see on the sides of it, but also the stuff underneath it.
Underneath your tongue, yeah.
It's really, really bad. I told you the story that I saw when I first signed. I saw a scout. He had a hole below his teeth in the front, a hole right through his gums from chewing tobacco. He later died. He later passed away.
All right. Well, listen, thank you, Rick and Steve Rizzo. You get the email me, PM me, do what you got to do. I need your address and we'll get this out to you. All right, let's get back to Troy. Troy, and by the way, Troy, anytime you want to jump in and ask Rico a question, feel free. No, seriously, all kidding aside. All right, let's talk about the T206 set. How long did it take you to, I guess my first question is, you have the complete set, less the Wagner, Plank, and Doyle?
Yep, that's correct. Yep, 521.
Okay, so how long did it take you, how long did you work on that collection for?
From start to finish, from when I decided to build it to finish, was about 10 months. And it's back to the Tobacco Row guys. I said I'm a T205 collector with the T206 problem, because that's true.
Yeah.
So I said, I swore I would never build the set. And the guys razz me about it all the time, that, sure, you're not going to build the set. So I started with one card. I bought a Joe Lake with ball and a Tolstoy back right after the 2018 National. Didn't do much for a few months. And then in January of 19, I said, I'm going to build it. I'm going to see how fast I can do it.
10 months is pretty damn quick, to be honest with you, in my opinion.
Well, I got lucky. I mean, there was 3 different events that occurred as far as like buying lots of cards, because like the best way to do it is just buy as many as you can find. So I found a 40 card lot from a TR member, a 200 card partial set from another TR member who was looking to leave. And that was right around the time that the whole PWCC thing was beginning in that era. And then the biggest one was Memory Lane had a 486 card near set that I happened to win. I was fortunate enough to win. And that took me to like almost 500, I think it was. So then it was just finding the other 20.
Did you ever grab any of the David Hall cards?
Actually, yeah, funny enough, this coincidentally just sitting here, I've got, you can't see it, but these are the Heritage wins where he autographed the backs of the cards.
Right.
So I have,
cool.
I have 5 of those.
Very, very cool.
Which, yeah. So
I mean, I'm assuming you do have a copy of the book, the T206 collection, the Players in Your Story.
Next time I see you, I'm actually going to have to bring it and get you to sign it too.
Not a problem. Actually, that's interesting story behind that book. Ellen and I sold the rights to that book. That was our very first book that we wrote. We were fortunate enough to win a national honor with that. And, we felt that the book ran its course. So we wound up selling the copyrights to it, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years ago. And they did a second printing, and the guy that Derek Hogue bought the rights, and he did a really nice job, because, our first book, it was so new to us, and we were kind of like, walking in a dark room. And the one mistake that we made, and it was my call, and I said, it doesn't make a difference, because I remember Ellen and Joe Orlando asking, don't you think we should be using original cards? And I said, nah, we can use reprints, because it's really the story behind the players. We got skewered by not using originals, and Derek wound up with our advice, using original cards, which were great.
So. That's the only mistake you've ever made in your life, so that's not bad.
Actually,
That
Ricky,
happens.
you probably don't remember this, but you know, we're talking about the stat cards, and you and I remember we had lunch together, and I ran the idea by you. I said, "What do you think?" And you thought it was a good idea to
I like
run
that.
promotional
Yeah.
cards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Troy, what are some of the other registry sets that you have?
So yeah, T206. I've got two T206 sets. I'm working on an all PSA 2 set that's about 60% done. The completed ones are the 520 and T206, T205, and T201. I've got the start on T202, T3, T204, T207, and then 1913 National Game, 1880 RNS, which is a 10 card set's pretty easy to put together.
Can you talk about that for a second? Because I honestly, I don't know anything about that. I did a little research. Tell us about that set. That seems like a little intriguing. How many cards?
There's 10 cards in the set, and it's basically, it's no player, it's teams. So it's one player from the team. And from what I understand, and I haven't done a ton of research either, but it came in 4 or 5 players that were attached, and you could detach them back in, the day. That was a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
I've only seen one or two panels that have never been touched as far as this. So they're all together. So 10 card set. I bought the set in all PSA 2 a couple of years ago. And as I find them to upgrade, but they're pretty cool. I wish I had one sitting here. I'd show you. But they're pretty cool to have. And it's just nice because they're so old. Like it's just they're just neat. And there's a pose, I forget the player, but he's crouched down in a catching position, and it's a pretty popular card when people see it because he looks like a frog.
Do you have a 70s top set?
I have a 77 cloth sticker set. I'm missing one card, one of the team cards for the whole thing. It's just one of those sets I built a bunch of years ago that I just kept because it's sort of neat. If you remember back then, the iron-ons, they tried it for a year.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I thought that was, as a kid, I thought that was so cool because that was right when I was a real little kid. So I was like, I should get those. I should have those cards.
Now you don't. So you don't own one Petrocelli card?
Wait a minute. I was going to ask him about it. 67 and 70 and 60.
Yeah, but he doesn't have
sets?
complete. You don't have complete sets, though, right?
You don't want that.
I don't. Yeah. After this conversation, I definitely need to get a couple.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Really, it's not conducive to your set and to your.
Wait a second, Rico. 68 was a good. No, that wasn't a good year.
68, it was hurt.
That's right. 69 was.
So anyway, but do you have a lot of the 60, 67, and 68 top sets?
I don't actually. So I have
67,
68. I've got a Carew rookie in 67, Seaver rookie in 67, and then Ryan and Bench in 68, and a couple other odds and ends. But I gravitated away from that when I got into tobacco, and I got rid of most of my stuff.
It's funny you mentioning the Carew rookie card because we're doing a bunch of what we're calling GACs, GACS, Great American Collectibles Show shorts on YouTube that we're going to be doing over the next probably 2 months. Rico doesn't know this, but he's going to do a few for us, but he doesn't know that yet. Anyway, we went out to a couple of experts, and in the Al Christofoli being one, Leighton, the guys at Memory Lane, guys at Heritage. I can't remember who else. Who else? There was the Collector Connection, a bunch of them, and 2 of them. And what we're doing is these are going to be affordable cards for the average buyer that we think are going to be good investments for 2022 and 2023. Nothing that's going to break the bank, but a couple $100, $300, $400, maybe under $1,000. The growth is going to be slow and steady. That Rod Carew rookie card has come up several times. They're all recommending that card.
I was lucky enough to find one last fall before the boom in that era. I found an 8.5 that at a local show. It's one of my favorite cards because when I was working at the card shop back in college, I bought a raw one that I still have.
Oh wow!
And
Cool.
I said I've got to upgrade it. So it actually got graded a 3. I thought it was going to be a 5, and it came back like the story you've heard a million times. But
that's happened to me 4 million times.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah. So, but I snagged an 8.5, and I love it. It's one of those that'll stick with me for a long time.
It's a good card. Now you have a complete 60 set from 1960.
Oh, 60 Fleer, yeah. 60 Fleer all-time greats. That's before I got back into the tobacco era. Because at the time I was like, I don't think I can afford any of the playing day cards of any of these players, so I'll buy this set. So I have a complete set. It's a little bit over near mint to mint, I think. but it's not something I play with a whole bunch. I look at it from time to time.
Ricky, you worked as a kid. You worked on the 52s or 56s. I don't remember.
As a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say, 52s, 54s, right in there, 56s. I was collecting when I was collecting. Yeah, I did collect them because the old story, put them in the shoebox. What happened? You move, your mother throws the shoebox out. She says, well, these are worthless. That's what happened to me. But yeah, I mean, it was great. Those I love those cards, of course, because I was a kid, and those are the first ones I got to know about.
And you were living. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Troy.
I was just gonna say, I saw a binder today. Funny enough, I was in the office this morning, and one of the guys that works with me brought his binder in from when he was a kid. So literally, I walked in this morning, it's sitting on my desk, and he's like, "Everything here," and it's all junk era stuff. So not really, but it was fun. Just like you take that walk down memory lane because it's like
right.
So definitely fun to see.
Yeah, that's the thing. We didn't know. The industry wasn't even. I don't even know if it was born yet. But
and you guys got paid big bucks for those cards, Rico. I mean,
thousands and thousands.
I mean, when you signed when you signed your deal with Topps, I mean, you basically you needed a van to take the money home that you signed for, correct?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So tell Troy what you signed for.
Oh, which one was that?
Cyberger
grabbed me right from coming in the airport in Arizona where we were training. And he said, son, Rico, how you doing? He was from Brooklyn. I was from Brooklyn. And he says, we want to sign you. The Topps. You have your picture on a card. And it said, it's going to be great. All the other guys have it. I says, oh, great. He said, but we're going to do something for you. We're going to give you a choice. You can either have $200 in cash or a set of Hilrick Bradsby golf clubs. So I said, geez, the cash is nice, but that'll go fast. Yeah, I think I'll take the golf clubs. I'll try it. Well, those golf clubs are in one of the ponds in one of the golf courses I started playing with. So I should have took the cash. But that was
Wait a second, though. Didn't you also get a stereo from some kind of a stamp book?
Yeah, no, the stereo was from what the hell was it? Yeah, what was it now?
No, that was Topps also, wasn't it?
No,
for another card.
No, that was a different
company.
About the bats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the bat company, Hilrick H&B. Louisville Slugger. Yeah.
So Troy, when Louisville Slugger signed players back then, tell them what they would hand you, Rick, and you'd have to go through it.
Oh, catalog of different things, You had things for if you were married for your wife, like a blender. So I came across this one page. It was a stereo. I said, "Holy Jesus, stereo! This is perfect." So I got the stereo.
You guys still got it?
No, you kidding me? But I took it. I took it to me with me to Carolina. I played in the Carolina League, and I had it in my apartment, and then I shipped it home.
That's all right. Hey, Troy, I know you obviously have an affinity for collecting the cards, and let's go back to the T206s for a moment. Do you find interest in the stories of the players behind the cards?
I do. I can tell you I probably care. I mean, I care a lot about both, but I would probably gravitate more towards the players and the cards themselves than the stories, but I love hearing the stories, and I think as we're talking today, I think it's Hal Chase's birthday.
Oh, is it really?
I saw that pop up somebody because one of the TR guys is actually a big Hal Chase fan.
I've told the story a million times how I even got involved with collecting T206 cards, and actually how we got involved in writing the book. I was in Cooperstown with my son. He was probably 8 years old at the time, and we were rummaging through. There was a great little shop called the National Pastime. We were in there going through a box of stuff, and I found a card. And I said, wow, this is a cool card. I had no idea what the hell it was. This is like 1991 or so. So I brought it home. I framed it on my desk, sitting right there in my office. And I used to look at it every day. And I said to myself one day, I wonder if this guy was any good. It was Lena Blackburn. Now, Lena Blackburn as a catcher kind of sucked. You know, he just was not a good catcher. But as everybody knows now, I mean, I started reading about, I started researching Lena Blackburn, and that's what triggered us doing more research because, Blackburn, the whole Lena Blackburn mud rubbing company with the mud from Delaware River and, getting the sheen off the ball. And he started a company that was successful and it was like proprietary recipe. And that's what kind of catapulted Ellen and I to start researching some of the players. And the more we dug was like, wow, there were some really cool stories here.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, but Hunky Shaw made Lena look like a Hall of Famer, though, right?
Oh, good. I mean, there was some, but there were some guys, like Bull Durham. I mean, the guy, everybody knows who Bull Durham was, except, he was more successful as a silent film actor, things like that. Yeah. It was kind of cool, just some cool stories there. And, so are you working on, we got a few minutes left. Are you working on another set for the registry?
Yeah, actually, so everything's kind of just in process. So I mentioned the second T206 set, all PSA 2. I think I'm going to build a third, all PSA 1.
Killing me. You're killing me.
Well, it's the cool thing about T206 is you can collect it like a million different ways.
Right.
So, and the best part about it is none of them are wrong. So
good point.
That's what's so fun about that. But other sets, I'm into Carmel as well from that era. So E90-1, and then I've got a smattering of other E series cards.
Yeah.
And we'll see where it takes me. But
what about your rear backs and the T205s, T206s? I mean, do you have a lot of rear backs, or is it mostly Piedmont, Sweet Caparel? What do you have?
I care a little bit less about the backs, to be honest, than most other people, because I'm more want to make my set from a grade point of view nicer. So my main set grades out at almost a 5.5 right now overall.
Still very good.
Yeah. So I guess I think less about, I mean, if I can find a nice back, so like my bat off cob, my bat on cob is a sovereign back in a 4.5, for example. And I love the card. So even if I upgrade, I'll keep the card because it's a fantastic card. But generally speaking, I don't, if I get them, great.
What's the grade on your highest? What's your highest graded Cobb greenback?
I've only got one, and it's a 4.5.
Okay.
So my Cobbs are 4.5, and then the green and the bat off, or bat on. I mean, I have a 7 in the bat on and a 80C in the red.
Before we let you go, one last quick story. When we launched the book for the book launch for the T206 set, we're up in Massachusetts, and there was a nice crowd there, and Joe Orlando flew out. Because he co-wrote the book with Ellen and I, and we're sitting next to each other. And we had a display of, I don't know, maybe 30 of my cards, all PSA graded. And I'm sitting there, and Orlando's sitting next to me. And I had my T206 Cobb, was one of the cards being displayed. And I sent it into PSA, and they graded it a 4. And I was damn sure it was going to come back a 6, maybe a 6.5. So I'm sitting next to Orlando, right? And I pointed to the card. I said, Joe, how could you grade that card a 4? He looked at me and said, don't start. I'm just asking you, don't start. And we started laughing, the two of us, and that was it. I said, nothing I can do about it, huh? He says, nope. Troy, I want to thank you so much for coming on board. The guys from T-Row, you guys do a great job. Keep up the good work, because that whole group is a real credit to the hobby. Because you know what? They're purists, and that's what I like. They're purists. So,
well, thanks a lot for having me, guys. This has been fun.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Troy Rambo, thanks again. When we come back, Derek Grady, if we can find him, probably under a park bench. If we can find him, we will bring him in, and we're going to chat with him. Hang in there. We're going to be right back.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on their tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auction and Collectibles Company. If you're looking to maximize your return on your sports cards and collectibles, look no further. We at Memory Lane Auction House offer you several options to achieve top dollar for your collectibles. Whether you're looking to auction or sell privately, we're the #1 choice with over 17 years in the hobby. Nobody will work harder to achieve your goals. Just call us today at 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE. Or visit us on the web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Go with the best. Go with Memory Lane.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
With record-breaking sales from everything from the white border T206 Honus Wagner for $3.12 million to some great items that support the Jackie Robinson Foundation, Golden Auctions has set the highest standards for the finest in sports cards, autographs, and game-used memorabilia. We're always accepting consignments of high-end premium sports treasures or entire collections. Please register for our next auction and bid now at goldenauctions.com. That's golden with an I. We at Golden Auctions are committed to providing unsurpassed customer service for the discriminating collector. That's exactly why we're the leader in the industry. Visit goldenauctions.com or call 856-767-8550. Remember, Golden Auctions. We don't just break records, we shatter them.
Sarah found out camping wasn't her thing. So she eBay forwarded her tent to Tom, who just had to get out of his house. But Tom needed road trip money, so he eBayed the crock pot he never used to Steve, who wanted to turn the heat up on date night. But Steve needed counter space, so he sold his decanter.
Thought it was a vase.
To Sarah, who'd found a new outdoor hobby.
Hints of red.
eBay. Sell something and make room for something new.
So, Rico, why don't you continue on and tell us about our friends at eBay?
Well, I was going to do it right after the commercial, but you came in there and I had to wait for your introduction. So everybody knows that eBay is the place to go for all of your memorabilia, sports or non-sports cards, autographs, and much more. Whether it's a gift for that special someone or you want to just add to your collection, eBay's huge marketplace should be your first stop. And if you sell, now's the time to flip your cards and get some extra cash. I shop on eBay all of the time. That's eBay, connecting buyers and sellers globally.
All right, before we chat with Derek, and we found Derek, and I love Derek. He's a good man. Ellen thinks he's kind of Ellen thinks you're kind of like sexy. I can't understand.
I agree. I mean, I've been told that multiple times.
I just don't. I can't wrap my hands.
Especially with the hat on, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, listen, before we talk to Derek, I want to talk. We have a couple of little things to talk about. Our friend Joe Drellick, East Coast Sports Marketing and Hunt Auctions, are pleased to present the Philly Sports Collectors Show. The Philly Show from Friday, March 4th to Sunday, March 6th at the Valley Forge Casino Resort in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. Shop over 200 of your favorite hobby dealer booths on over 55,000 square feet of sports collectibles heaven from the 1800s, Rico's day, to present day. Major sports auction houses and third-party grading and authentication companies are on hand to assist your collecting needs. The Philly Show is family-friendly, and all kids 12 and under get in for free. Autographed guests include basketball legend Julius Dr. J. Irving, Philadelphia baseball legends Mike Schmidt, Pete Rose, and Steve Cotton, all friends of Rico's. Baseball Hall of Famer, the Wizard of Oz, Ozzie Smith, Philadelphia Eagles all-time leading rusher LaShawn McCoy, as well as Super Bowl 52 fan favorite Brandon Graham, and many more. For more information, go to phillyshow.com. Remember, since 1975, the Philly Show is where it all started.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring in our pal, Mr. Grady. You feeling okay these days?
Yeah, little bout with COVID, you know.
Yeah, that's nothing.
It wasn't bad for me.
How long were you laid up for?
Literally a couple days, and then I had to sit out a week.
You did.
But I got to be on vacation for a week, so that was nice at home.
Now, anybody else in the Heritage family, or were you you're traveling all over the damn place.
Traveling all over the place. It happens, risking my life to get consignments for Heritage.
Jesus. Now,
what we do,
Rico, now he sounds like Davy Crockett at the Alamo. Like,
will we see COVID cards in the future?
COVID cards.
That's a good idea.
Cards.
That's a good question, Rico.
Yeah, that is, Rick.
Because we
could get them graded.
Yeah.
Get your COVID card graded.
My
right?
wife, I got a photo of my wife throwing up. So, I mean, that could be one of the best sellers.
Could be. Autographed.
Yeah, autographed and everything. So, no, I'm glad. Hey, I'm glad you're feeling
your wife's throwing up. That's really good.
Well,
that's right.
What's wrong with that?
All right. Hey, Derek, I emailed you. I want to talk. I want to get your opinion on this. Again, I don't know. I don't know if it's me, I know I'm probably going to piss a few people off, but
is this a confessional here?
No, but something, this whole thing, this whole concept of manufactured scarcity, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, you don't like it?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't, because it's something that is being created. It's being created. I don't know. I can't. I have a problem with it.
I understand. And I think that is what is making the vintage and the Roos and the Cobbs and the rookie cards and the 52 Manals, Mazes, all that stuff go up in value, because you see Mahomes and Trout and these guys sell for so much money in one of ones, or my God, one of 50, one of 25, the National Treasures rookie cards, rookie patch autos are a lot of money. And then people look at that and they say, wow, Mickey Mantle's a bargain. Ty Cobb and an 8's a bargain. And I think it's helping the past cards go up, but where's the future? Who knows? I felt like $4 million for a Mike Trout card was way too much money. You can buy a lot of incredible stuff. Mano uniforms for $1 million. Mays and Aaron are a few $100,000. I mean, uniforms of these players, of the greats of the game. Bats. Everything's taken off. The modern is the manufactured, as you want to say. I get it. One of ones or limited production. I don't know where that's going to be, but they're selling out of it, and Fanatics is going to come in and go crazy, and they're going to be producing more of the same. And we're more popular than we've ever been. And if modern is where it's at, we're going to carry it at Heritage.
Oh, I know. I mean, are you kidding? I wouldn't blame you. I would, if I was a dealer, or if I was an auction house, I'd do the same thing. But
to invest in it, though, that's a different story. I can't. Look, there's big risk, big reward, okay? Because you can buy a $20,000 rookie card that could literally be worth $500 someday, and only 500 because it's still rare and somebody might need it.
Right.
But also, if you did get a Mahomes and you did pay 20 grand early on, or 25 grand, and now it's $1 million or 800,000, that's a big reward.
It's a home run. That's a home run.
Chance you take.
Rico, I know you've always been kind of a proponent of it, Rico.
I know
that you think it's okay to do, but
unless it's totally ridiculous price wise. But I would hit the rookies, all of those cards, as fast as I could get them.
Well, Rico, no, but you know what? A lot of them are doing now. Like they'll have, I don't know, a Tom Brady, not Tom Brady, just pick a player, and they'll have, different variations of that player. But then of that player, they'll only print three cards of a particular card, and they pop them in a pack. And that's what these young guns are going after, trying to find that one of three. You know what I mean? Because that's the card that they hit the home run with.
Yeah, but Tom, I mean, you're talking about Trout and some of these other guys.
Yeah.
Mahomes, they've done something. It's not they're not rookies.
So, all right. So what happens,
you know what I mean?
then?
So now these guys are on their way to the Hall of Fame without a doubt. Don't you think? Right now, I'm not saying that they could get hurt and never get there, but it's like anything. You're gonna take a chance. You want to get into business. You got to take a risk.
So the kid gets hurt.
That's my opinion. That's my feeling.
Well, I don't know, Derek. When did this whole phenomenon start with the manufactured rarities? I mean, weren't they doing that back during the after the junk ball era with pieces of uniforms and stuff like that?
I mean, they started Upper Deck. I think started doing the jersey cards first. I mean, I believe it was. I don't remember. I never collected jersey cards.
Right.
Okay, it was in the 90s. And then you had but keep in mind too, some of the rarer cards, the precious metal gems of Michael Jordan, those cards that go crazy that are either red or green, limited to 10 or 100. Those cards, what was that, 1998?
Yeah, something like that.
98, 97, 98. Okay, so those, we didn't know it at the time. Okay, back then, that those cards were going to take off like they did. The pandemic brought that to me,
brought a lot of that to the forefront. Yeah,
and then people started going backwards. So now that they started making more limited cards in the 2000s, people started going back into and buying 90s insert cards and early 2000 insert cards. Now we're starting to see all these rare Brady cards that nobody knew existed that people made in the year 2000. And there's some that are limited to 10 cards, 20 cards, 25 cards. I mean, there's some really cool Brady cards out there. And what I do like to see is we've been selling some cards that I thought were $500 for $3,000, like a 2020 Panini Prism elephant skin. I mean, crazy different names for the stuff. Disco Prism of Tom Brady, white sparkle Tom Brady, and it goes for $3,000 or $2,000. But I like that. I mean, look, when stuff gets into the millions, I start to argue, why are you not buying a Jackie Robinson game used jersey? Why aren't you buying a World Series ring from a Hall of Famer? Well, I mean, that's getting to another level where I think memorabilia is truly a piece of the game. But I love the fact that we have conservative people, we have speculators, we have people buying the wax and the pack breaks, and everything's great in the hobby right now. So that's what's great to see.
What's going on with Heritage? There's a rumor circulating that you guys exceeded $1 billion.
Well, we did like $1.4 billion as a company.
$1 billion.
But we have over 35 divisions, and there's coins and comics, and we have historical and sports. I mean, we have movie posters. We have obviously so many different categories. So as a company, that's the first time we not only surpassed $1 billion, but we did $1.4 billion. So, and the company was founded in 1976.
Must be doing something right.
Absolutely. So what's going on with auctions? What do you got coming up?
With sports, so right now, we're literally putting to bed. Provenzale was just texting me, some lots for first and second session and platinum night. So we're actually putting to bed our platinum night auction for February.
Yeah.
But next week, when this show airs, will be the closing of our January card auction, which we have the number 114 Cracker Jack set. As you know, we have an auction online, ha.com. Our big card auction for January is online. And then followed by our February Platinum Night auction, which we have, a PSA 10 86 Fleer set, including the Jordan, a Mantle, his last jersey, home run jersey, just lots of great stuff. The only Michael Jordan debut ticket stub, or a full ticket, I should say, a Jackie Robinson debut ticket. Tickets are on fire. We have a couple $1 million worth of tickets in our February Platinum Night auction. I mean, if I missed the boat on anything, it was tickets. Tickets are literally going.
Yeah, that's and you're talking full tickets, correct?
Well, no, I'm talking stubs. Jackie Robinson debut stub, Lou Gehrig Day stub. I mean, I'm talking stubs are going for a ton of money.
Rico, do we have any ticket stubs in your little room down there in your cellar?
No,
Rico's debut ticket?
No. Nope. They didn't sell tickets then. They let people in free.
Oh, okay.
But seriously.
We got about 3 minutes.
Okay, I'm looking at Tom right now. Why don't you guys make up a card of Tom Zappala and not the show, and you can get all kinds of expressions from him. With the beard, without the beard, and all that stuff.
I agree.
When he was an amateur.
Fanatics listening. I mean, look, Fanatics
Right?
just
You guys both exhaust me. All right, stick
you
around.
should do it. You should.
All right, listen.
Tom, you're a legend.
Listen, 4 T206 stat cards. I'm going to give them out right now. Picking out of the Staten Island Joe Marino bag. Marino, if you're listening or watching, I'm getting.
Wait, what's the giveaway?
The giveaway is these are the promo cards that Ellen and I and the publishing company. These are collector's items. Okay,
He wants to get rid of them.
Along with the Rico Petrocelli sign.
Now we're talking. Okay.
Signed
Throwing a Rico
1967 because we have a couple of these and the T206 cards. All right.
Very
Wow.
nice, Tom.
Do we have
joke with
sponsors? Like we can.
Here we go. It's going
Sure.
to. Yeah,
Do we have listeners?
Yeah, one or two.
Joe, I can't. I can't give this one out. Joanne, we love you, but this is Rico's niece.
Oh, my niece.
Why can't you give it up? Forget it. She's out. I'll send her something. Joanne, I'll send you something.
I'll send her one. Half price.
Mark Ferreira. Mark Ferreira.
Oh, Mark.
You know?
That's Mark. Wait a minute. What's his first name?
Mark.
Let
Why?
me see.
It says Mal, but that's a typo. Why? Do you know?
No. I thought it said Carl.
I thought we knew all our listeners.
Marl.
You're pathetic.
We got to get
You are
on.
absolutely pathetic. You really are. You just
called me sexy earlier.
That's right.
What happened?
Yeah.
You're out. You're out too.
He
I'm
turns
telling
on you
Ellen.
fast. Derek.
All right, listen, Derek. Again, your website address.
www.ha.com. Go to sports. Go to the sports department.
Derek, there's a woman in pink that just walked behind you, and I saw her put something in her pocket from one of the shelves.
That's probably a 52 mantle.
Okay.
Mine.
All right, guys. Listen, have a great
Derek,
week. Rico.
Feel better, Derek.
All right, thank you.
Derek, we're
the
glad. All kidding aside, we're glad you're on the rebound. Rico, our best to Elsie. She's doing better.
Yeah, thank you. Say hi to Ellen.
And you're doing better, so everybody's good. And to our viewers and listeners, remember, if you can, subscribe to our YouTube channel, listen to us on Facebook, Facebook Live, Spotify, Alexa, iTunes, whatever. We're all over the place. With that being said, we love you guys as always, and happy collecting.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.